Hey everybody, Tech Bishop here. I want to do a quick video today, or maybe it's not going to be so quick. It's on CDLs and your hazardous material endorsement. A lot of friends of mine have, and some guys here on the internet have sent PMs and whatnot of how hard the hazardous material test is. And I don't think it's that hard. I think what you're having trouble with is like me. I have a lot of reading comprehension trouble. I don't read novels, things like that. I had to read has to be true, or biographies or something like that. And then even with that, if I'm reading a story and if I'm telling somebody something about something I read, and I may say 6 weeks to do whatever, and they say, really, 6 weeks? And then I immediately question. I'm like, well, I'm like, well, don't quote me on that. It may be 6 days, could be 6 months, because I can't remember, because it really didn't mean that much to me. I wasn't studying, I was just reading for enjoyment, and it's just something that partially stuck in my brain. So even in school, when I did comprehension test, I would get the questions and read through the questions, and then I would read the story or the book or what have you. And it helped the information go in because I knew what they were asking for, and it was really a lot easier that way. And so that's what I suggest here. Now the North Carolina book has 22 pages of just hazardous material information that you have to study. And when you're trying to take this stuff in, I can see where a lot of it's redundant, where they're trying to kind of get it into you. But it's not really a teaching tool, it's just an information tool. Now here, if you go to, and this is, a lot of people's had a lot of success with this, truckercountry.com, go to their website, and they have every test up there, every practice test, not every test, but every example. You go to the CDL Practice Test Center, they have the general knowledge, hazardous material, air brakes, doubles and triples, combination vehicles, and the tank vehicle practice test. Now if you go right to the hazardous material, they have 7 different tests. Each test has 15 questions on each test. They're multiple choice. You can go through and just start with number 1 test and go through all 15 and see how you do. It grades you immediately at the bottom. Then it gives you a list of the right and wrong answers. You have to go back and compare, see which ones you did wrong. Then study those questions, the one you don't know. Because hazardous material, a lot of it is common sense, and I'll show you in just a minute about the common sense parts of the test. You don't have to know everything about hazardous material, because hazardous material test is basically the minimum that you have to know to transport. Because whatever you transport, if it's explosives or gasoline, it's going to require additional instruction, to be able to perform those certain, especially the dangerous. Anybody can haul, piss. Just drug tests, piss tests are considered hazardous material, but it's not dangerous, unless it gets in your face. But anyway, it's not like explosives or poison, or mixing explosives or poison with food. You can't mix poison and food, stuff like that. That's basically what's on the test. Not what kind of poison, just poison in general with food, just like you would do. Like I said, I've already done the video that I'm about to show you. Like if you go to the grocery store, you buy a pound of hamburger and a bottle of Drano, you don't put it in the same bag. Bad idea. But go to truckercountry.com. I'll put a link showing you how to get there. And take those tests, see how you do, and then go back to your study material. Once you can make 100% on these tests, go back and read over your study material, and it'll just go in so easily. You'll be able to just comprehend and these forms and information that you need. It's just so technical to me. It's not really interesting. That's why I have a hard time learning things. If it's not interesting, I don't like to learn. But anyway, I'm going to put this other video in. This is the actual, some of the questions on the test and how the test works. And here are some of the examples, and this is the way the test will look. Animal and human foodstuffs should not be loaded in the same vehicle with, you have your three choices there, your explosives, oxidizers, and poisons. Obviously it's going to be poison because of the foodstuffs. Common sense will tell you that. Poison, just like you wouldn't put your hamburger meat in with Drano at the grocery store. Same thing applies here. Then on to the next question. A driver who transport route control radioactive material must have had special training by the carrier within the last, and you just have to commit that to memory, last 2 years. 2 years. Just radioactive material, just route control radioactive material also. There you go, and it tells you you're correct. You click on, you go to the third. When your vehicle is placarded, do not drive near open flames unless you, and it's obvious there again, you know, the word is safely, and it's got to be, you know, open flames. You realize near open flames you're going to need to pass without stopping, just obvious. Yeah, which signals may be used to warn of a vehicle which contains explosives? There you go again. You know, explosives and fire don't mix. Common sense has got to be the reflective triangles. Flares are no-go. Signal flares no-go. All right, on a hazard class name or ID number may not. You got to pay attention to this not and may not. Non-hazardous material. Sometimes they try to trick you up on these questions by putting in not or may not. If you are not really up to speed on reading, you may skip this word like that. Again, vehicle placarded for hazardous material must have placards on all four sides. It's just common sense. Front, back, and both sides of the trailer or tanker has to be placarded. Mandatory. Who is responsible for packaging, labeling, preparing the hazardous material shipping papers for a common carrier? Well, the answer is right there in the question. You know, who is responsible for packaging and shipping papers? It's got to be the shipper, right? I mean, you know, it's right there in the question. Okay, number 8 would be the intent of hazardous material regulations has 3 parts: to ensure safety of the drivers and equipment, to communicate the risk, and what? To contain the material is not to tax the shipper correctly or to allow state enforcement. So there you go. It's just that simple. I hope that helped. You should have saw the blooper I just did. I hope this helped. It helped a lot of my friends, and that's the way I personally have to study if I really want to retain information. So, any questions or comments, let me know in the comment box at the bottom. Like I said, I'm not a professional teacher or an instructor, but I'm just giving you what I know. That's all it is. It's just what I know. This is how I do things. Right or wrong, you can probably do it better. I may look like an idiot to you, but this works for me. Maybe it'll work for you. Tag Bishop, and I'm out.